Over the last few years, there has been a lot of hype over AI, or more specifically, generative AI. This is frequently sold as the next great industrial revolution, or somehow going to send productivity through the roof, or whatever else that is being envisioned by the media and these companies. Believe me, it is driving me crazy. Not because I'm somehow worried that AI is going to make human written journalism obsolete, but because it is so obviously a scam. Hi, I'm Drew Wilson from Freezenet, and this is the Great AI Scam. While it has been a long while since I've watched an actual movie, I did enjoy some good movies in the past. Sci-fi is, of course, one genre I enjoy. Whether it is the first Matrix movie about AI taking over the world and enslaving humans, Terminator, where AI controlled robots exterminate humanity and time traveling pushes Judgment Day back, or I, Robot, where the big nebulous AI takes over robots in a bid to take over the world. They were fun, thrilling movies to watch. Here's the thing though, it's all fiction. A killer robot isn't going to be coming into your room tomorrow and taking you out. There is no threat an AI is going to take control of the world's nuclear weapons and wiping humanity out. After all, there is a reason why there is the word fiction in science fiction. Yet, whenever I look at several media headlines these days, lazy journalists push some of the most ridiculous hype as if science fiction is becoming a real-world thing. As a journalist myself, this is extremely painful to watch, but not exactly anything new for me either. After all, I've seen plenty of overhyped technologies push obviously fabricated wild claims. Some examples that come to mind for me are BitTorrent being used to fuel all kinds of technology, this in a bid to supposedly revolutionize things beyond the world of file sharing. Obviously, that didn't pan out. Another example would be 3D movies and TV programming. That flopped when members of the audience caught motion sickness. Curved screens were supposed to be a massive improvement to the viewing experience. The technology didn't really improve things by much. The cashless society was supposed to make physical cash obsolete. That turned out to be a play by credit card companies in a bid to pad their profits. There was blockchain that was supposed to be another revolutionary technology that was going to change the world forever. That ended up dying out when people realized it was just a marketing term more often than not. Bitcoin was supposed to render government-backed currencies obsolete, only to have extreme volatility cause people to lose billions. While some of these things do still exist today in some form or another, they all have one thing in common. They all overpromised and underdelivered. So I've seen plenty of hype trains come and go over the years. AI, specifically generative AI, is shaping up to be no different. One specific example I've witnessed was the rise of AI-generated art through 2023 and parts of 2024. Examples of this include Stable Diffusion, DALL-E, and Deep AI. At the time, it created enormous anxiety in the art community. With the rise of AI, is it going to be possible for artists to earn a living through things like commissioned work? Is this really the end of human-made art? As it turned out, the answer was no. Artists continued to enjoy making art, they continued to make money off of their work, and eventually the hype faded and things returned to business as usual. Is AI image generation still a thing? Sure, but in many communities, when AI is predominantly used to create art, it generally is frowned upon and considered low quality. In fact, numerous companies found themselves in hot water when they were busted using AI images for promotional material. Examples include the AI chat emote and Marvel's infamous Fantastic Four AI movie poster. While most of the anxiety of AI-generated images did fade over time, the hype over generative AI in general sadly did not. In fact, AI companies are using every psychological trick in the book to try and pawn off their AI as this omnipotent, magical technology that is either perfect or approaching perfection. The two biggest psychological tricks I've noticed are the weaponization of greed and the weaponization of fear. First, the weaponization of greed. AI companies are generally selling this message that we are in the midst of this massive new industrial revolution. Companies are jockeying to be the company that provides this magical AI solution, and investors need to seize the opportunity now because massive boom times are ahead for these companies. For people selling AI has practically unlimited growth. Seeing this in action is not that hard. Just do a Google News search for AI investment, and you'll likely see things like how these are the three companies that are going to soon be as big as Amazon. Nay, twice as big as Amazon. Screw it, 10 times the size of Amazon. You'd be foolish not to put your money in now because this is a once in a generation opportunity. Other articles might be talking about how different companies are racing each other to develop their revolutionary AI technology. A few might be pushing eye-popping numbers to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars to dazzle you with really big numbers. While some of these news companies might finally be starting to realize that we are in the midst of a massive AI bubble right now, others are continuing to push the narrative that we are basically in the midst of a technological gold rush and things are only going to spiral upwards from here. Honestly. Seriously. Please believe us. Generally, these types of people pushing these narratives are called a number of things, but one that sticks out for me is the AI bloomer. Second is the weaponization of fear. For these, you get people pushing narratives like how AI is going to take people's jobs. Others are pushing the messaging that whole industries are soon going to be ditching humans as AI takes over their jobs. Some even go to the extreme of saying that AI is going to cause humanity to go extinct by the end of 2023. 2024. Okay, by 2030. Or something. Just trust us, we totally got this figured out. Honestly. Generally speaking, these are the people that I like to refer to as AI doomers. The thing is, there is one thing that AI bloomers and AI doomers have in common. They falsely believe that AI is either perfected technology or technology that is on the verge of being perfected technology. Spoiler alert, the technology is not even close to this. So, what do I mean specifically when I say this? The long-running myth underlying all this is that generative AI is this magical technology that can do everything for you. Press this magic button and AI will deliver the perfect legal document, the perfect email, the perfect report, the perfect whatever else it is you're trying to produce. No human intervention required. Spoiler alert, that technology doesn't exist. The real cherry on top of this toxic sludge of disinformation is the fact that there is a massive push to frame any AI debate as being on one side or another of these psychological tricks. You are either a bloomer or a doomer. Pick a side because that's where the real debate is. Spoiler alert, no it is not. The question that some may have is this: why put up this front at all? What's the point of whipping the public up in a frenzy like this? Simply put, money. As some in the financial sector knows, a huge portion of the money flowing into AI companies is through financial investments, much of which is speculative investments. In August of 2025, Sam Altman of OpenAI fully admitted that we are in an AI bubble. But don't worry, if investors could spare $1 trillion or so they can continue to spend that money on expansion, well, that would be just peachy. Does anyone here understand the basic concept of a stock market bubble? Anyone? Bueller? At any rate, these companies are pushing to convince people to invest in their company regardless of what the technology can actually deliver. It's a pretty impressive way to fleece people, really. Where the generative AI grift begins to break down is at the core level of what AI generally does. Generative AI produces things like text that can be reasonably expected to be produced by a human. It imitates what a human can produce. That is it. Facts don't really matter that much. Reality and research matters little. If the AI can produce something that sounds like it was produced by a human being, then its job has been fulfilled. That is why you get things like AI hallucinations. An AI can produce something citing a source that actually doesn't exist. As far as the AI is concerned, it looks like it was made by a human being, so job complete. Of course, in the real world, where information is critical and accuracy matters, something that sounds professionally produced simply doesn't cut it. Facts get checked, and information gets verified. This is simply beyond what generative AI can comprehend, let alone produce accurately on a regular basis without human intervention. Fortunately, we have a highly professional mainstream media who will take their years of experience, high quality journalism, dedication to the facts, heavy research skills, and suss all this out to present you with the facts of what is really going on. Or, in this case, be the stereotypical lazy, gullible journalists who simply do things like regurgitate press releases and buy up all this AI hype without actually questioning any of it before hitting the publish button. Real bang up job, people! You really know how to retain the trust of your readership. Thanks to the media who largely spent the last few years not hearing about AI hallucinations or honestly believing that AI was magical perfect technology, you get situations like lawyers who get caught putting fake citations in their legal briefs thanks to AI, the AI CNET scandal, the Gannett scandal, AI journalism predictions going down in flames, fake AI news stories, more AI fake news stories, Google recommending that people should eat rocks, a 15% success rate for AI replacing software engineering tasks, terrible chess tactics, the Chicago Sun-Times scandal, Canadian lawyers getting in trouble for fake legal citations, more lawyers submitting fake citations thanks to AI, ChatGPT's 91% failure rate of basic office tasks, AI deleting user data, lawyers getting fined $10,000 for fake AI citations in their legal briefs, or AI simply destroying productivity in the office thanks to work slop. Just to name a few examples. At the end of the day, people are honestly believing that AI is a largely perfected or an absolute perfect piece of technology. Thanks to the mainstream media who largely didn't bother questioning this obvious hype with little substance, they started deploying AI only to quickly get burned by it. Even worse, some media outlets are even going so far as to try and sweep all this under the rug to maintain the image of AI being something that it is so clearly not. Now, I'm not saying AI is completely useless. Can you feed it a short paragraph of your work and ask it to tighten up the grammar? Sure. Can you get it to translate a few sentences from one language to another? Yeah, that can be done. Can you use it to do small animation tasks like make a shirt look like it is fluttering in the wind in a somewhat realistic fashion? I can believe that. The problem is that it is by no means the magical silver bullet that is going to do everything without the need for human intervention. No matter what the bloomers and doomers say, that simply is not the reality. It is a tool, not a replacement. So just leave the big menacing AI overlords taking over the planet to where it truly belongs, in the world of fiction. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you want to support this journalistic effort, you can do so by liking this video. If you want to see more great journalistic content, feel free to subscribe. You can also support us through Ko-fi.com and Patreon. Links down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.